If you live in Arizona, in or around the Chandler area, and you're considering bankruptcy, you'll love this tip from Christy Thompson of ArizonaLegalAdvocacy.com.
Is it a good idea to let a house go into foreclosure?
I get that question so often, Cindy. A lot of people here, especially in Arizona, we are the second highest state in the nation right now for foreclosures. And in large part, that is not necessarily because people have lost their jobs. That is part of it. But more to the point, people have lost so much value in their homes. For example, a lot of my clients maybe purchased their home for $300,000, and it's not uncommon for it to be worth less than that amount. In fact, substantially less, maybe 50% less. $150,000 less is really common. And so you would have talked to people maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and they would never have thought to consider foreclosure. But now that you're looking at your home and realizing that you're going to be paying on something for 30 years that, in fact, has negative equity attached to it, $150,000 negative equity in the example I just gave, a lot of people are really giving foreclosure some serious thought and really treating it as a financial tool. More to the point, a lot of people talk about the foreclosure option. And so deciding to keep your home in these economic times with the consideration that property values have dropped dramatically is more common than it's ever been. And so for a lot of people, we just sit down and do the math. Think about the fact that your home has dropped in value, how much has it dropped in value, and figure out if your property were to see a 5% return, how long would it take you to get back to the value of the property? So if my property was a mortgage of $300,000, but it's a negative $150,000, it's going to take well over a decade for my property to even become close to its original mortgage value. And so for a lot of people, renting right now is a much better idea. Allowing your property to go into a foreclosure or to consider a short sale on your property can be a much better financial decision for you than waiting that decade or so until your property returns back to the regular value. So I look at foreclosure as really just a financial tool. We talk about the issue of whether the lender can come after you, so to speak, if they can choose to bring a lawsuit against you. Arizona, for residential properties, by and large, is what they call a non-judicial foreclosure state, meaning that if the lender chooses simply to send you a certified letter, not to bring a lawsuit against you, but to bring a certified letter and advise you that they'll be selling your house within 6 months of your last payment date, you can expect not to be sued, and as a result, that lender cannot pursue you for the difference between your house. So we talk about foreclosure all the time here in my Chandler office, and in large part because I think it's a good financial decision if you sat down and done the math and come to realize that your house is not a little underwater but substantially underwater. So that's the advice I give people when they are considering foreclosure. Be logical about it, do the math, figure out if you're in such a negative equity position, would renting be a better option? You may be paying less a month than your monthly mortgage. You have no maintenance costs. And in addition, in a rental, you don't have a negative equity position. So that's really my advice on it, Cindy.
Thanks, Christy. We appreciate you answering our questions. If you have specific questions for Christy or would like to find out more about filing for bankruptcy in or around Chandler, Arizona, visit Christy's website at ArizonaLegalAdvocacy.com.